So Russell Westbrook has been a nugget for a little bit now. And if you guys remember, this offseason, Jokic was the one who requested the Nuggets pick Russ up. I think we now know why. Let's start with the basics. Russell Westbrook has been such an intriguing part of the Nuggets this season. Sure, his efficiency might not jump off the page. 39% from the field and 34% from deep isn't what you'd call elite, but his intensity, it's absolutely unmatched. Every time he steps on the court, he's bringing energy, and it's contagious. You can tell he's not just out there for himself. He's working to get everyone involved. That's reflected in his 6.3 assists per game, which ranks 23rd in the entire league. And let's talk about his ability to disrupt on defense. 1.6 steals per game might not sound mind-blowing, but it's good enough to rank 22nd in the league. That's pretty wild, considering he's playing under 25 minutes per game. His steal percentage is even better, 6th in the NBA. He's out there picking pockets, forcing turnovers, and creating chaos. It's not just about getting the ball, it's about shifting momentum, and Russell is doing that every chance he gets. Rebounding, he's still contributing. He's 102nd in offensive rebounding percentage and 97th in defensive rebounding percentage. Not stellar rankings, but given his role and size, you've got to respect how he still crashes the boards with aggression. It's that relentless effort that defines him. What really stands out to me, though, is his assist percentage, 13th in the league. Think about that. There are so many elite playmakers in the NBA, and Westbrook is right there near the top in setting up his teammates. When he's on the floor, he's the engine making things happen. Whether it's a quick dish to a cutter or a drive and kick to an open shooter, he's keeping the offense flowing. It's also worth mentioning how his minutes are being managed. At 24.7 minutes per game, he's not getting the same kind of workload he's had in the past, but that hasn't stopped him from making an impact. If anything, it's impressive how much he's doing with that time. He's efficient with his effort, even if his shooting percentages don't always reflect that. The thing about Westbrook is he plays with a fire that's hard to match. You can see it in the way he attacks the rim, dives for loose balls, and gets in passing lanes. Sure, there are moments where his shot selection or decision-making might leave you shaking your head, but the passion he brings, you can't teach that. It's part of what makes him so exciting to watch. So while his stats might not scream superstar, Westbrook's contributions go beyond the numbers. He's the kind of player who changes the energy of a game, and for a team like the Nuggets, that's invaluable. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, let's talk about him when he's been starting this season. Murray has been hurt a lot. Russell Westbrook has been nothing short of a game changer for the Nuggets this season when he steps into the starting lineup. In place of Jamal Murray, Russ has averaged 14 points, 8.5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, shooting an eye-popping 53% from the field. That's elite efficiency for a player known more for his motor and playmaking than for his scoring consistency. And let's not overlook the results. A 4-1 record when Russ starts. That's impressive for any player, let alone one making only $3 million this season. One of the most exciting things about Westbrook starting is how seamlessly he fits into the Nuggets system. His ability to get Nikola Jokic the ball in the right spots is a massive reason why the team looks so much better offensively and defensively when he's on the floor. Jokic is at his absolute best when surrounded by players who can move the ball and keep the offense flowing, and Russ delivers on that front. His pass-first mentality has even unlocked new layers of Michael Porter Jr.'s game. MPJ thrives when he gets more touches, and when Russ is feeding him, it's lights out for the opposition. Just look at how dominant MPJ can be. Better mid-range numbers than Kevin Durant, better on contested threes than Steph Curry, and 77% at the rim for his career. Those are insane stats, and Westbrook's unselfishness helps amplify them. Another thing I've loved about Russ starting is his rebounding. People forget he's the best rebounding guard of all time, and it shows when he's crashing the boards for this Nuggets team. Whether it's grabbing defensive rebounds to start the break or fighting for second chance opportunities on offense, his effort in this area is unmatched. With Jokic handling so much of the playmaking and scoring, having a guard like Westbrook who can dominate the glass is a luxury most teams can't afford. Defensively, Russ brings something this team has desperately needed: energy. When the starting five comes out flat, he's the spark that gets them going. His intensity on defense is contagious, and his ability to disrupt passing lanes, get steals, and push the pace has been crucial in keeping opponents on their heels. Even when his jump shot isn't falling, he's finding ways to contribute, whether it's through his defense, rebounding, or facilitating. Let's not forget how Westbrook's presence impacts the flow of the game for players like Michael Porter Jr. When Russ is at the helm, MPJ gets more looks, and the Nuggets absolutely thrive. Last season, they went 21-4 in games where MPJ had his highest field goal attempt totals. That's not a coincidence. Russ knows how to get his teammates involved and put them in positions to succeed. MPJ's consistency as a three-point shooter, his efficiency in the clutch, and his ability to dominate from the mid-range all shine when Westbrook is setting the table. Jokic and Westbrook together is also such a unique pairing. Jokic is the best center Westbrook has ever played with, and their chemistry is building each game. Jokic's ability to play off of Russ's relentless drives and quick decision-making makes this duo a nightmare for defenses. Russ doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective here. He's playing within the system and making everyone around him better. What I've noticed too is how much better the Nuggets look in games where MPJ gets a higher volume of shots. With Russ running the offense, MPJ gets those opportunities and the results speak for themselves. Whether it's his contested three-point shooting, better than Steph Curry's, or his dominance at the rim, MPJ thrives when Russ is feeding him. And that's without even mentioning the fact that MPJ had his first fully healthy offseason ever. His career was nearly derailed by back injuries, but now he's looking more consistent and dominant than ever, thanks in no small part to the structure Russ provides when he's running the show. The Nuggets system is built on ball movement and unselfishness, and Westbrook has embraced that fully. He's not out there hunting for his own shot, he's creating for others, setting the tone and keeping the tempo high. His ability to manage the offense and keep everyone involved is a huge reason why they've been able to dominate in games he starts. It's also worth mentioning that Westbrook has been a steal at $3 million this season. For a player who brings this level of intensity, playmaking, and experience, it's one of the best value contracts in the league. When you combine that with the Nuggets' already stacked roster, it's no wonder they've looked so strong. When Russ starts, Russell Westbrook starting for the Nuggets has been a revelation. His energy, playmaking, and leadership have elevated this team, and the numbers back it up. 14 points, 8.5 assists, and 5 rebounds on 53% shooting. That's incredible production for a guy many thought was past his prime. If this version of Westbrook continues showing up, the Nuggets are going to be a problem for anyone standing in their way. And one thing that's obvious, the Westbrook to Jokic connection. It's like watching two basketball minds sync up perfectly, each bringing out the best in the other. Westbrook has always had a knack for connecting with his centers, but this synergy, it's on a whole new level. From his days with Steven Adams to moments with Ivica Zubac and Daniel Gafford, Westbrook has consistently thrived with big men who understand how to work off his aggressive drives and vision. Now, with Jokic, it's all turbocharged. Jokic doesn't just make plays, he's redefining what it means to be an unselfish superstar. His ability to read the floor allows Westbrook to lean into his strengths as a facilitator. The reputation that Westbrook carried, often maligned after his time in Los Angeles, is getting a much-needed boost. Fans and analysts alike criticized his decision-making and his tendency to rack up stats. But it's hard to argue with his production when you see the results alongside Jokic. The way Westbrook drives aggressively, collapses defenses, and dishes out assists is so valuable. That's what you want from your ball handler. It's exactly what James Harden and LeBron James have done throughout their careers. The difference is that Westbrook's numbers were so consistently jaw-dropping that people used them against him. His triple-doubles were seen as stat padding rather than the byproduct of his relentless effort and talent. Sure, there were times in Oklahoma City when his teammates gave him free boards, but is that any worse than trashing a guy who's trying to get easy shots for his teammates? The real issue wasn't his basketball IQ, it was his over-aggression. Sometimes he's too ambitious, but calling him a low IQ player, that's just lazy. His vision and passing ability have always been elite, and now, with Jokic, it's more evident than ever. Jokic, the reigning MVP, is arguably the best passer Westbrook has ever played with. That says a lot when you think about Westbrook's history. But what's truly special is how Jokic's skill set amplifies what Westbrook already does well. Jokic doesn't just see the court, he sees angles and possibilities others can't. His entry passes are absolutely ridiculous, and it's clear he's comfortable letting Westbrook take the reins when it comes to finding those lanes. It's funny though, Westbrook was criticized for his time in Los Angeles, where he struggled to find his rhythm. The Lakers have a toxic fan base and front office at times, and it's no secret that playing there can define a career, for better or worse. But look at what he's done before. Bradley Beal had a career year playing next to Westbrook. Beal made his only All-NBA team during that season, averaging over 31 points, while Westbrook casually put up a triple-double for the year. Paul George, he was in the top 3 for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year voting when playing alongside Westbrook. These aren't coincidences, they're examples of Westbrook's ability to elevate his teammates, yet people dismissed all of that because of his stint with the Lakers. That's the reality of a high-profile stage. It's harsh, unforgiving, and doesn't account for the full context. And yet, through all of this, Westbrook has remained one of the most desirable teammates in the league. Players love him, coaches respect him. His effort, his competitiveness, and his leadership set him apart. Just look at how the Nuggets have embraced him. Jokic wanted Westbrook, and he got him. Now, they're showing what a true partnership can look like when two players are on the same wavelength. It's a bit surreal to see Jokic dunking off a Westbrook pass. For so long, Westbrook was the scorer and the explosive finisher. Now, he's setting up plays for one of the most skilled centers in NBA history. Jokic's unselfishness is the key here. He doesn't care about stats or headlines. He wants to win, and he recognizes that Westbrook is a valuable piece of the puzzle. Westbrook's career trajectory has been fascinating. From his MVP days to his triple-double dominance, his athleticism once defined him. But as he's aged, he's shown how passing and vision stick with you even as other parts of your game decline. He's not the same athlete he was in his prime, but he doesn't have to be. His ability to read the floor and deliver pinpoint passes remains intact. It's a lot like what Chris Paul has done. CP3 isn't the same scorer or defender he once was, but his sharp basketball mind keeps him effective. Westbrook is doing the same thing, finding ways to stay relevant and impactful, even as his role changes. And let's talk about maturity. Westbrook's usage rate is at a career low, yet his assist percentage hasn't dropped at the same rate. That tells you everything you need to know about his growth as a player. He's embraced his role, understanding what's best for the team rather than chasing individual accolades. The partnership with Jokic has highlighted this transformation. For years, Westbrook's passes were seen as reckless or even boneheaded, but the reality was often different. He had the vision. His teammates just weren't always on the same page. Now with Jokic, that's no longer a problem. They both see the game at a high level, and their communication is seamless. It's a bit of basketball poetry, honestly. Jokic's game is about making everyone around him better. He's the ultimate team player, always looking for the extra pass or the perfect read. Westbrook, on the other hand, has always been about energy and aggression. Together, they balance each other out. People love to compare Jokic and LeBron, and for good reason. Both are incredible passers who can dominate in so many ways. But Jokic operates differently. He's not just looking for the best shot, he's looking for the best shot for someone else. That's why this pairing works so well. Westbrook can drive, collapse the defense, and know that Jokic will be exactly where he needs to be. It's also worth noting how much Westbrook has adapted his game. He's no longer chasing triple doubles or trying to prove a point. He's focused on making the right play, and it's paying off. His assist numbers are proof of that. Even with fewer touches, he's finding ways to contribute at a high level. This isn't just about stats, though. It's about chemistry and trust. Jokic and Westbrook trust each other, and that's evident in the way they play. They're not just teammates, they're basketball minds, working in harmony. It's funny to think about how much criticism Westbrook has faced over the years. People called him a stat chaser, a ball hog, and even a liability. But when you see him in this environment, it's clear how much of that was overstated. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer for a reason. And let's not forget the legacy he's building. Westbrook's name will always be tied to his MVP season and his triple-double records. But this chapter with Jokic is adding a new layer. It's showing that he's more than just a stat machine. He's a competitor, a leader, and a player who can adapt and thrive in any situation. Jokic, too, is adding to his legacy. He's already one of the most unique and special players the league has ever seen. His ability to dominate in so many areas while remaining unselfish is a testament to his greatness. Pairing him with Westbrook is just another example of how he elevates those around him. This partnership is also a reminder of how much context matters in evaluating players. Westbrook struggled in Los Angeles, but that doesn't define his career. Just like Jokic's, brilliance isn't limited to his individual accolades. Together, they're showing what's possible when talent meets understanding. I want to talk about some of Westbrook's advanced stats though. Right off the bat, his ball handling ability ranks in the top 5% of all NBA players. That's insane when you think about it. More than 95% of players don't handle the ball as well as Russ. And this isn't just about dribbling. It's about control, decision-making, and composure when the game is moving at full speed. It's the foundation of how he creates opportunities for himself and his teammates. Now, let's talk about those assists. Westbrook is averaging 6.3 assists per game. That's a really solid number, especially when you consider his current role on the team. He's not the primary ball handler all the time, and he's coming off the bench. Yet, his ability to set up his teammates is undeniable. His assist percent, which measures the percentage of his team's field goals he assists while on the floor, sits at an impressive 35.45%. That puts him ahead of 96% of all NBA players. Think about that for a second. When Russ is on the court, over 1/3 of the buckets his team scores are directly because of his passing. That's an elite level of playmaking. It gets even more interesting when you look at what those assists translate into. Westbrook's 6.3 assists lead to 14.3 points assisted per game. That's huge. He's not just creating chances for his teammates. He's creating scoring plays that make a tangible impact on the game. Whether it's a perfectly timed pass to an open shooter or threading the needle to a cutter in traffic, Russ makes plays that keep the offense moving and put points on the board. But let's not overlook something equally important: his ability to balance all this with low turnovers. Turnovers can completely kill momentum, but Russ has found a way to limit them despite his aggressive playing style. His turnover percentage, or turnover percent, is just 12.31%. This stat measures how often he turns the ball over per 100 actions that conclude a play, such as scoring attempts or turnovers. For Russ, this number is excellent. In fact, it's better than nearly 70% of players. Here's another way to look at it. Westbrook averages 2.5 turnovers per game, which is pretty low for someone who plays such a high-energy, high-usage style. Compare that to his 11.4 scoring attempts per game, and you start to see just how efficient he's been. It's a delicate balance, playing with intensity while maintaining control, and Russ pulls it off better than most. One of the most impressive things about Westbrook is how he's adapted to his role on this team. He's not the primary ball handler anymore, and he shares the court with one of the best passers in the NBA. That's not an easy adjustment for a player who's been the go-to guy for most of his career. But Russ has embraced this role, and the numbers show he's thriving in it. He's figured out how to pick his spots, when to attack, when to facilitate, and when to play off the ball. It's not just about the stats, though. Westbrook's presence on the floor changes the game. His speed, energy, and relentless drive keep defenses on edge. Even when he doesn't have the ball, his movement opens up opportunities for his teammates, and when he does have the ball, defenders know they're in trouble. Whether it's pushing the pace in transition or orchestrating the half-court offense, Russ forces opponents to react to him. And let's not forget the leadership he brings. Sure, his advanced stats are impressive, but Russ's impact goes beyond the numbers. He's a player who leads by example, showing his teammates what it means to compete at the highest level. His intensity is contagious, and it's a big reason why he's been so successful in this new role. Another thing that stands out is his ability to contribute in multiple ways. Yes, his ball handling and playmaking are elite, but Russ also has the scoring ability to take over when needed. He's a threat to drive to the basket, pull up for a mid-range jumper, or hit a teammate with a perfectly placed pass. That versatility makes him incredibly valuable, especially in today's NBA, where teams rely on players who can do it all. It's worth mentioning again how efficient he's been. A lot of players with Russ's style of play tend to rack up turnovers, but he's managed to keep his numbers low. That 12.31% turnover percent is no joke. It shows he's making smart decisions and maximizing his opportunities. For a player with as much fire and energy as Westbrook, that kind of control is impressive. Russ's role as a bench player also adds a unique layer to his contributions. Coming off the bench means he's often playing against second units, but it also means he has to bring instant energy and impact. And he does just that. He's a game changer, even in limited minutes, and he makes the most of every opportunity. Playing alongside one of the best passers in the league could have been a challenge for someone like Westbrook, who's used to being the primary playmaker. But instead of clashing, Russ has adapted his game to complement his teammate. It's not just about sharing the ball, it's about finding ways to coexist and thrive together. And Russ has done exactly that. The advanced stats paint a clear picture. Russell Westbrook is still one of the best in the game at what he does. His ball handling, playmaking, and efficiency are all at an elite level. And when you factor in his adaptability, leadership, and energy, it's easy to see why he's been so impactful. Russ has always been a player who defies expectations, and his current role is no different. Russell Westbrook isn't just a former MVP trying to fit into a new role, he's redefining what it means to be a sixth man. Few players could come off the bench, share the floor with elite talent, and still post these kinds of stats, but Russ has done it, and he's done it with the same fire and passion that have defined his career. It's a joy to watch, and the numbers prove just how special he still is. But then we can talk about his defense. Russell Westbrook's advanced defensive stats are fascinating and highlight a part of his game that doesn't always get the spotlight. Let's dive right into the numbers and see what makes him stand out defensively. First off, Westbrook's mixed team defense metric shows he's been effective at preventing opponents from scoring both as an individual defender and within the team structure. This stat takes into account how a player contributes to their team's defensive schemes, and Westbrook has proven to be a key piece. Whether it's cutting off passing lanes, forcing tough shots, or providing help defense, he's making an impact. When it comes to steals, Westbrook is averaging 1.6 per game. That's not just good. It's among the top performers for his role and minutes. Steals aren't just about quick hands. They're about anticipation, awareness, and reading the game. Westbrook's ability to disrupt plays and turn defense into offense makes him a threat every time he's on the floor. Now let's talk about his shot blocking. While he's not known as a rim protector, Westbrook still averages 0.6 blocks per game. It's not a flashy number, but it shows his ability to step up when needed. Blocking shots isn't just about size. It's timing and effort. For a guard like Westbrook to consistently register blocks is impressive, and it speaks to his athleticism and competitive drive. Defensive rebounding is another area where Westbrook contributes significantly. He's grabbing 3.1 defensive rebounds per game. That might not jump off the page at first glance, but it's crucial for ending possessions and starting fast breaks. Westbrook's rebounding is especially valuable because it allows him to push the pace immediately, putting pressure on defenses before they can set up. One of the most important stats to consider in modern basketball is team defensive efficiency, which measures how many points a team allows per 100 possessions. Westbrook's team defensive efficiency sits at 115.7. While it might seem high, context is key. The defensive efficiency metric often reflects the entire team's defensive ability, and Westbrook's individual contributions within that system are what really stand out. His ability to switch on defense and guard multiple positions is another reason why he's so impactful. Westbrook's lateral quickness and physicality allow him to hold his own against both guards and forwards. This versatility is a huge asset in today's NBA, where teams constantly look to exploit mismatches. But the stats don't tell the whole story. Watching Westbrook play defense, you can see the energy and effort he brings on every possession. He's not the type to take plays off, and that intensity rubs off on his teammates. Whether he's diving for loose balls, contesting shots, or hustling back in transition, Westbrook's effort level is unmatched. His defensive IQ is another underrated aspect of his game. While he's known for his aggressive style, Westbrook has a knack for knowing when to take risks and when to play it safe. That balance allows him to disrupt plays without putting his team in a bad position. It's a fine line, but Westbrook walks it better than most. On-ball defense is where Westbrook's competitiveness really shines. He takes pride in locking down his man and making every possession a battle. Opponents know they're in for a tough night when Westbrook is guarding them. His combination of strength, speed, and determination makes him a nightmare matchup. Off the ball, Westbrook's instincts are just as sharp. He's constantly moving, keeping an eye on his man while staying aware of the ball. This awareness helps him jump passing lanes and create turnovers, leading to those 1.6 steals per game. It's a skill that not every player has, and it's one of the reasons Westbrook remains such a valuable defender. One thing I really enjoy about watching Westbrook on defense is how he uses his athleticism to make plays that others simply can't. Whether it's a chase down block, a deflection, or a tough closeout, he finds ways to make an impact. His energy is infectious, and you can see how it lifts his teammates during critical moments. Transition defense is another area where Westbrook excels. In a league that's faster than ever, being able to get back and stop fast breaks is crucial. Westbrook's speed and hustle make him one of the best in this aspect of the game. He's not afraid to sprint the length of the court to contest a layup or force a turnover. Defending pick and rolls is one of the toughest tasks in basketball, and Westbrook handles it well. His ability to navigate screens, stay in front of his man, and contest shots makes him a reliable option in these situations. He doesn't get lost in the action and his communication with teammates ensures that everyone stays on the same page. When looking at advanced stats like these, it's clear that Westbrook's defensive impact goes beyond the traditional box score. He's not just doing the flashy stuff like steals and blocks, he's also contributing in ways that don't always show up in the numbers. Contesting shots, boxing out, rotating on defense. These are the little things that make a big difference. Russell Westbrook's defensive stats might not always steal the headlines, but they're a huge part of why he remains such an important player. Whether it's individual defense, team schemes, or hustle plays, Russ brings it all. His ability to contribute in so many areas makes him a true defensive asset, and his effort on that end of the floor is something every fan can appreciate. But love Westbrook or hate him, I think one thing everyone can agree on is his intensity. Russell Westbrook's intensity is like an unstoppable engine for the Denver Nuggets. When the team signed him as a free agent this summer, they knew exactly what they were getting. A veteran with unmatched energy and a knack for pushing the pace. Westbrook's influence on the Nuggets' tempo is undeniable, and the numbers back it up. Last season, Denver ranked 26th in pace, which isn't great for a team with championship aspirations. This year, with Westbrook in the mix, they've climbed all the way to 9th. That's a massive jump. While pace doesn't automatically mean better offense, it creates more opportunities for quality shots, and Westbrook is at the heart of it. What's even more impressive is that his intensity doesn't stop with him. It's contagious. Head coach Michael Malone has credited Westbrook for igniting the entire team's effort to run the floor. It's not just about one player sprinting end to end. It's about the whole squad buying into that faster style. And when you've got everyone running, good things happen. Think about what this does for Denver's star players. With Westbrook leading the charge, guys like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray get to operate in more favorable situations. Transition opportunity, mismatches, and early offense all come easier when the pace is up. Westbrook's relentless push keeps defenses scrambling, and that's when the Nuggets' talent shines brightest. What's fascinating is how Westbrook's impact mirrors what he did with the Los Angeles Clippers. When he joined them, their pace picked up in a similar way. He has a proven ability to change the rhythm of a team, and it's working wonders in Denver. It's not just about how fast Westbrook moves, it's the way his energy sets the tone for everyone around him. Westbrook's experience is also a huge asset. Being in his 17th NBA season, he's seen and done it all. That leadership matters, especially on a team that's looking to defend its title. His intensity doesn't just show up in games. It's there, in practices, meetings, and every moment in between. It's the kind of presence that pushes everyone to be better. On top of all that, Westbrook's accomplishments this season are incredible. He's now 25th on the NBA's all-time scoring list, a milestone that cements his legacy among the game's greatest. But here's what really blows my mind. He's also top 10 in assists. That puts him in elite company with LeBron James and Oscar Robertson as the only players to rank top 25 in points and top 10 in assists. That's legendary status right there. What makes Westbrook so special is the way he balances scoring with playmaking. His intensity fuels his ability to attack the basket, but he's just as committed to setting up his teammates. Whether it's threading a perfect pass to an open shooter or drawing defenders away to create space, he's always looking for ways to make things happen. Defensively, Westbrook's intensity also plays a big role. He might not be the biggest guy on the court, but his hustle and effort are unmatched. Diving for loose balls, fighting through screens, and never taking a play off. That's the kind of energy that inspires teammates and frustrates opponents. One thing I really admire about Westbrook is how his intensity translates to leadership. Younger players on the Nuggets can look at him and see what it takes to compete at the highest level. He's not just leading by example. He's showing them how to approach every possession like it's the most important one of the game. His durability and stamina are also incredible. In his 17th season, he's still playing at a pace and intensity level that few players can match. That's a testament to his work ethic and love for the game. Westbrook's ability to maintain that fire after all these years is nothing short of remarkable. And let's not forget about the impact this has on the Nuggets' chemistry. When a player like Westbrook brings that much energy and effort, it's contagious. His teammates feed off it, and that creates a culture of hard work and accountability. You can see it in the way they play. They're faster, sharper, and more locked in. The beauty of Westbrook's intensity is that it's not just about physical effort, it's mental too. He's constantly analyzing the game, finding ways to exploit weaknesses, and staying one step ahead. That combination of smarts and hustle makes him a unique and valuable player for the Nuggets. What I love most about Westbrook's style is how unapologetically aggressive it is. He doesn't hold back, and that's exactly what Denver needed to inject some extra life into their game. His intensity sets the tone for a team that's aiming to stay at the top of the league. Russell Westbrook's presence in Denver has been transformative. His energy, leadership, and relentless drive have elevated the Nuggets in ways that go beyond the box score. Whether it's pushing the pace, inspiring his teammates, or adding to his already legendary career milestones, Westbrook's intensity is making a huge difference for the defending champs. Overall, though, Russell Westbrook has brought so much energy and excitement to the Denver Nuggets this season. Watching him out there every night, you can't help but feel his passion for the game. He plays with that trademark fire, diving for loose balls, attacking the rim, and just giving 100% effort, no matter the situation. It's clear that he's made basketball fun for the team and the fans alike. The most enjoyable aspect of Westbrook's time in Denver has been his connection with Nikola Jokic. They've developed this incredible on-court chemistry that's as entertaining as it is effective. Jokic's genius as a playmaker and Westbrook's relentless drive create some truly special moments. Whether it's a perfectly timed lob, a fast break that ends with Westbrook finishing strong, or even just the way they communicate and complement each other, it's been so much fun to watch. It's also impossible not to root for Westbrook to finally win his first championship ring. After everything he's accomplished, becoming one of the all-time greats in scoring and assists, this is the one milestone that's eluded him. His hard work and dedication make him one of the most respected players in the league, and you can tell his teammates want it for him just as much as the fans do. No matter how this season ends, it's been amazing to see Westbrook playing at this level and enjoying the game. Here's hoping he can cap it all off with the ultimate prize, a well-deserved NBA championship.